Imprisoned Show is what I know. They bring in all these boys and girls all around the whole wide world. Imprisoned Show is what I know, but here we go. Imprisoned Show is what I know. They took me from my home, I can't get back.
Imprisoned Show is a show set out to educate the public about human trafficking. It features expert opinions, people, organizations, events on issues surrounding human trafficking around the world. Nigerians rally for the rescue of kidnapped schoolgirls in Chibok, Borno State, Nigeria. If you are a social media regular, you must have seen the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls on Twitter or Facebook and all over the media. On April 14, 2014, residents and parents of the students at Government Secondary School, Chibok, Borno State, Nigeria, woke up to a nightmare when they found that nearly 300 students have been abducted by a terrorist group called Boko Haram in Nigeria. In Minnesota, recently, the rally was put together by a local organization called Minnesota African Women Association, whose mission is to promote the health and well-being of African refugee and immigrant women and their families in the Twin City area through research, education, advocacy, and programming. Nigerians and non-Nigerians showed up with placards chanting, "Bring back our girls now," in front of the state capitol. Some members of the organizing group include Lola Okunsomi, Tokumbo Okonla, and Sam Ogbonaya, who was the master of ceremony, among several others. There are several presenters at the event, including Chaoli representing Congresswoman Betty McCollum, Linda Miller of Civil Society, Angela Osuji, the president of the Igbo Women League, Vanessa Uko, outgoing vice president of African Students Association, University of Minnesota, Pastor Tony Olia of the New Wine Church in Minneapolis, and there were poems recited by different people also at the event, asking that the Nigerian government and the international community help to bring back the abducted girls from Chibok.
All we are seeing, like bring back our girls. So let's go. All we are seeing, bring back our girls. All we are seeing, bring back our girls. All we are seeing,
thank everybody that came out today. Thank you so much for coming out. My name is Lola Ukusabi, but my name could be Hawa Yerma, or Mary Dauda, or Kume Muta, or Mariamu Yakubu. I attended the Federal Government College in Ogun State, in the southwest part of Nigeria, about 2 decades ago. But I could as well have attended Government Girls College, Chibok. In those days, we had a wall and local hunters protecting us. We didn't have much fear. In fact, we were more terrified of getting spied on by our male classmates while we took showers than we were of any external forces outside the school walls. People ask, why did those girls risk everything to take an exam? The Senior West African Examination Council.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Charlie. I'm a senior aide to Congresswoman Betty McCollum. She's in Washington today, so she's unable to join us. But she asked me to share with you a letter that she wants to all of us to call to the world's attention about what's happening in Nigeria. So I will try to be brief, so let me just read that letter. May 12, 2014. Dear friends, thank you all for gathering here today to express your solidarity with the girls and their families in Nigeria who have been kidnapped by the Boko Haram terrorists. We all come here today to condemn this barbaric act of crime against humanity. A community in the world must act together to find the girls and to bring those perpetrators to justice, no matter how long it takes and wherever they may go. As a member of Congress, I will continue to work with my colleagues in the Hill and the Obama administration to do whatever we can to assist the Nigerian government in pursuing the girls' adopters. We will not rest until the girls are safely returned to their families. Thank you all again for coming out today to support those kidnapped girls and their families in Nigeria. Sincerely, Betty McCollum, Member of Congress.
Thank you very much. Let's give our regards to the members of. Thank you so much.
Imprisoned Show is what I know.
Who's girls? Our girls. Who's sisters? Our sisters. Who's girls? Our girls. Who's sisters? Our sisters. Who's sisters? Our sisters. Who's sisters? Our sisters. Who's girls? Our girls. Who's sisters?
As I stand here today, I look at you and I'm filled with emotions. And I bring greetings from the Igbo Women League of Minnesota. As one of the placard here says, education is not a crime. I left school today to be here. I am a school teacher in Minneapolis. My students and colleagues support my coming. It was important to them, just as it is important for me to be here. It is also important for the Igbo Women League of Minnesota that I be here today representing them. I have always loved school. As an African female, I know early on my place in society. I also realized the role school will have in my life. School was a home from home. I attended a boarding school. It was a place of sisterhood. We often sang, "We are the great sisters of the world." We called all other girls to come and join the great sisterhood, to be prepared all the time. My sisters in the Igbo Women League of Minnesota also know this. It is for this reason that for the past 20 years, these women of various professional callings have dedicated their lives to the cause of girl child education in Nigeria. We offered scholarships, mentored, tutored, taught, and raised funds for the girls, and especially girls from low-income families. Our abducted sisters and daughters in Borno State in northern Nigeria know the significance of this education. For this reason, they came back to take their exam. They came back to prepare for the exam. They came back to take the regional West African School Certificate exam, for they know that if they miss this exam, a lot is at stake. They came back in spite of their fears, and they were abducted. It is for this reason that the Igbo Women League of Minnesota prepared a statement which I am going to read just now. The Igbo Women League of Minnesota, IWL, strongly condemns the abduction by a militant group of over 276 girls from their dormitory in Chibok, Borno State in Nigeria, on the night of April 14, 2014. Acts like this are not only criminal, but they are also inhumane and violate the victims' basic human rights. These violent acts, if not checked, will undoubtedly adversely affect the current efforts made by many to encourage and sustain the education of girls in Nigeria. As the United Nations General Secretary has stated in a reaction to the abduction, schools are and must remain places of safety and security, where children can learn and grow in peace. Girls and young women must be allowed to go to school without fear of violence and unjust treatment, so that they can play their rightful role as equal citizens of the world. We urge the people who abducted these children to immediately release them so that they can be returned to their parents. We are urging the Federal Republic of Nigeria to do the right thing. We are grateful to the American government for sending troops to Nigeria at this time. We urge all other Nigerian and other organizations of the world in the Twin Cities, as well as every well-meaning individual, to join their voices to those of the rest of the world to convince these criminals to release the girls and return them to their families. Injustice everywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Let us all rise and stand together with our Nigerian brothers and sisters for the release of these innocent girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suji. Now, I know the rain is beginning to come down a little bit, so we're going to try to fast forward this a little bit, and so the rest of the speakers, if you could please shorten your remarks. So
stay tuned with us on Imprisoned Show and hear more from the rally.
Thank you for being there. It's part of the sacrifice that we all made.
Kenya, I was teaching biology and chemistry, and our students were selected as star students from all of the areas in Kenya. Our young women came and learned biology and chemistry. These girls were destined to become the leaders in Kenya, and I know how important this exam was for them, particularly Sarah, who I read about today. Sarah was a 19-year-old studying for her final test. Now, this means it is either pass this test or go home for these kids, because the villages can only afford to send one kid. And so she was desperate to finish her exams. So in the middle of her exams, all these girls were stolen. She, being a 19-year-old, had a little bit more education and self-respect and knew that she could escape. So she did. We are now about 56 have escaped, and the rest, none have been found since that time. So for a month, even though there was a day warning, the government has not done anything that we know of to find these. The villagers have been going out with bows and arrows into that forest trying to find their girls. So please stay and listen to the rest of our wonderful speakers and bring back our girls.
Thank you, Ms. Milcom. And Bukola has a poem.
This poem is titled Bring Back Our Girls. Bring back our girls, the ones stolen in the night. You know what you did. It's definitely not right. Bring back our girls. They only want to learn. The men may have their education, but now it's the girls' turn. Bring back our girls. Stop allowing them to fear. Please don't take them far away. They need to be near. Bring back our girls. Refrain from any abuse. Bring them back home as they were, so they can put to good use. Bring back our girls. We do not want to be enslaved. Their parents' hearts are broken. Don't send them to their grave.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to chant here real quick. I know it's raining, but I think it's a small sacrifice to pay given that the girls are in the jungle somewhere and they're in a worse situation. So let's do this. Who's girls? Who's sisters? Who's girls? Who's sisters? Who's girls? Who's sisters? Who's girls? Who's sisters? Who's sisters? Who's sisters? Thank you, everybody.
All right, at this time, I'd like to call on Vanessa Uko, outgoing Vice President of African Students Association, University of Minnesota. Vanessa Uko, are you here? Hi, here she comes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to reintroduce myself. My name is Vanessa Yuko, and I am the outgoing president of the African Student Association at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. I would like to first thank everyone who took the time to be a part of this event, and I would like to thank the Minnesota African Women's Association, NAWA, for taking the initiative to organize such a powerful and important event. I would like to recognize Lola Okusami, a former ASA member, a U of M graduate of the class of 2000, for reconnecting her ties with ASA and inviting us to take part in today's event. The term Boko Haram translates to Western education is a sin. Rarely has the name of a terrorist organization revealed so much, but it does so in ways beyond surface interpretation, sometimes betrayed in the media. Boko Haram has been at large in Nigeria since 2009. Their crimes include nearly indiscriminate murders of hundreds of Nigerians, some victims identified with the Christian faith, others with the Islamic faith. The self-identified Islamic group believes that Western education is corrupting the moral values of Muslims, especially amongst girls. Young women, like the Chibok schoolgirls, are being targeted and prevented from pursuing their educational goals. To say this is wrong would grossly understate the severity of the crime. The First Lady, Michelle Obama, sheds light on some of the important issues I would like to share. She states that education is truly a girl's best chance for a bright future, not just for herself, but for her family.
Who's girls? Who's sisters? Who's girls? Who's sisters? Who's sisters? Who's sisters? Who's girls? Who's sisters?
Imprisoned Show.
Stay tuned with us on Imprisoned Show and hear more from the rally.
I'd like to call on Ms. Uko Okabam, Provost, Igbo Women's League, to please come.
Thanks everybody for coming out here this morning under this rain. My name is Ugo Kabam, and I stand here on behalf of the Igbo Women League of Minnesota. I'm an attorney for a local food company, and I can stand here today and say that because I got an education in Nigeria. What do we want? What do we want? When do we want them? Now! When do we want them? Now! Thank you. Today, over 200 girls are in captivity because they dared to get an education. The Igbo Women League of Minnesota for over 20 years has been working for the cost of girls' education in Nigeria because the education of girls is not a priority. And today, a group of people want to turn back the hands of the clock for Nigeria. Are we going to stand still and let that happen? Are we going to stand still and let that happen? I also stand here today because I'm a mother. I have 2 teenage boys. It breaks my heart when I go to bed every night since April the 14th, knowing that close to 300 families in Nigeria cannot sleep well, not knowing where their children are. What do we want? What do we want? When do we want them? When do we want them? I can stand here today because I started and finished my education in Nigeria before I moved to the United States to further that education. But those girls in the forest do not have that same right. Girls and other children must stay in school without any fear of violence, without any threat of violence. We must let the world know what is happening in Nigeria. Every child deserves the protection of adults. Every child of this world, no matter their color, whether they are white, black, green, yellow, they deserve the protection of us adults. We must stand up with the Nigerian girls. We must stand up with their families. We must stand up with the Nigerian people. I ask all of you, write letters to your congressmen and women. Call them. Go to the media. We must continue to stand. We must continue to cry. The time is now. The time is always right to do the right thing. Thank you.
All right. At this time, I'd like to invite one of our Somali brothers to please come. I apologize, I forgot your name. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Abdul Sagabihi. 6 years ago, my nephew and 40 others from here in the Somali community were radicalized and stolen and sent back to Somalia. We spoke out, we fought against those radicalized in Somalia. Boko Haram is an offshoot of Al-Shabaab in Somalia. We need to stop those radicals. Yes. 48 universities who graduated from medical school in the city of Mogadishu, right in the middle of the war, were suicide bombed simply because they become educated. We need to stop them. Let's go to Congress. Let's testify against them. We need the U.S. command to cooperate with the Nigerian government before it's too late to stop those crazy people. We know them. They are killing Somali people everywhere. They are killing Kenyans. It's called Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram. They are all evil. Let's stop them. Nigerian government must wake up. Thank you.
Joined Bukola in the fight against human trafficking by partnering with the Anyton Story. Their mission is to advocate for victims and empower survivors of human trafficking.
Boko Haram is responsible for several suicide bombings in Nigeria for more than 2 years now. And this is the first time the group will engage in kidnapping to hold the country into ransom. The girls were writing their final exams, the West African examination, which is a compulsory examination for any Nigerian student willing to further his or her education into higher institution of learning. Boko Haram dashed their hopes when it kidnapped these girls and carted them away into an unknown destination. In the midst of speculations that Boko Haram is responsible for the kidnapping, 3 weeks after the group released a video in which the leader, Abubakar Shekau, said he is responsible for kidnapping the girls and will sell them. As a human trafficking survivor and education reporter in Nigeria before I moved to the United States, I was honored to share my views at this event because I'm afraid that those girls are going to be sold into human trafficking, sex slavery, labor slavery, or even organ trafficking. Rallies and social media posts went viral calling for the rescue of the girls by the Nigerian government. Nearly almost 4 weeks after the incident, the Nigerian government decided to accept offer from the international communities to rescue the girls from the wicked group. In the midst of that, Boko Haram released yet another video showing some of the abducted girls and asking the Nigerian government to trade them for its members who are in prison.
Few and 40 others from here in the Somali community were radicalized and stolen and sent back to Somalia. We spoke out, we fought against those radicalized in Somalia. Boko Haram is an offshoot of Al-Shabaab in Somalia. We need to stop those radicals. Yes. 48 universities who graduated from medical school in the city of Mogadishu right in the middle of the war were suicide bombed simply because they become educated. We need to stop them. Let's go to Congress. Let's testify against them. We need the U.S. command to cooperate with the Nigerian government before it's too late to stop those crazy people. We know them. They are killing Somali people everywhere. They are killing Kenyans. It's called Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram. They're all evil. Let's stop them. Nigerian government must wake up. Thank you.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now.
All right, at this time, I'd like to call on Ms. Bukola Oriola, award-winning journalist and human trafficking survivor.
Good morning, everybody. And I want to say a big thank you to the organizers and all of you for coming out today. It shows that you care. As a survivor of human trafficking, I do know that those girls are going to be sold into slavery, into human trafficking, and we do not want that. And also, as an education reporter in Nigeria, education is something that I'm passionate about, because like all the speakers have said, education is something that you can get and nobody can take away from you. Because somebody can take your clothes from your back, but they cannot take the knowledge you have in you. I thank you for coming, and I'm calling on the U.S. government to expedite action. I can't call on the Nigerian government because it is a shame. They have not been doing anything since. Today is the 13th. It's 1 month already that those girls are missing. But I'm calling on the U.S. government to expedite action to find those girls and bring them back home, because education is everybody's right. Thank you, and God bless you.
Get silence forever. Bring our girls back from the grips of the dark warlords whose hearts have long been lost. Dark spirits that upon our lands have declared a war. Bring our girls back. We don't even know. Even if they're being killed daily, even if they're being raped daily, whatever is going on their place, on our plea remains. Please bring our girls back. Our homes in Chibok are missing them. Their siblings want to hold them again. Their mosques they've prayed want to welcome them back. Their churches want to give thanksgiving. Just bring our girls back. Now is the time to be parading ourselves as giants. Now is not the time to be parading ourselves as giants. If Nigeria alone cannot win this war, please seek help wherever it can be found. We don't really care how it is gotten, but victory at whatever cost is our desire. For our cracked lips of clay to again blossom with smiles, please just bring our girls back. At this sore moment, campaigns are meaningless to us. We want to feel secured again. In our homeland, at our yards, we want to see our chains of terror destroyed. We want to be drowned by sanity. We want our serenity wherever we turn. Sensitive a pin should drop. Its impact will echo through our land. In pain, humbly we again ask that you please bring our girls back. Time is ticking. Souls from Sambisa are praying. Chibok is on their toes. Nigeria is waiting. When we wake up tomorrow, the news we want is that our victory. For you, our military, please summon more courage. Our hearts are with you. Our spirits are not sleeping. Our classroom in Chibok are waiting our angels. Please bring our girls back safely. Bring our girls back. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Our girls back. When do we want it?
At this time, I'd like to call on Pastor Anthony Oliher, the senior pastor of New Wine Church. So please come, Pastor Oliher.
And just say how deeply grateful we are that you are able to be a part of this event today, which is geared towards spotlighting the fact that we have a couple of girls who are still, far away from family members, far away from their parents and everyone that they know and they love. The fact that you are here today makes us feel good that regardless of what is going on out there, we know that there's still a God on the throne who is looking out for his loved ones. There's something that while reflecting on this whole event, the Word of God says in 1 Corinthians that if the trumpet make an uncertain sound, who will prepare for war? There are, as it may be, so many voices, and none of them is without signification, or none of them is without significance. And for me, I am grateful for the fact that there are people all over the world, congressmen, congresswomen, the president, the first lady, people from all over the United States of America who are standing up at this time and saying it's time to bring these girls back home to their loved ones. So I am grateful for that opportunity that God has given yourself and myself, especially those of us who are outside of the country Nigeria right now, even though many of us are from Nigeria. But today we are out of the country, we are able to look at it from another angle, and we are able to see maybe what they are not saying, and we are able to say what many people may not even be able to say out there in Nigeria. So for me, I think the most important thing that I want us to take home today is that many times the reason why we see the rise of evil in any country, in any group, or in any society is the fact that there are not many people out there who are speaking out against the evil of the day. Now, I want you to please be mindful of the fact that it's one thing to speak out against evil, but then the only way you will be able to speak out forcefully against evil is if your own hands has not been tainted with evil. Amen? In other words, you will not be able to confront the leaders who are not doing the right thing if you yourself are not doing the right thing. And one thing that I have observed when we think about our nation, Nigeria, is the fact that there are those that are being set up to speak to the authority and the leadership of our country, but many of them have not really lived up to the ethos of their calling or the profession in which that they practice. So it becomes very difficult for them to speak out. But for many of us here, we are outside of the loop. We are not involved in everything that is going on. We can look at things again from a different vantage point, from a different point of view, and we can speak against everything that is going on out there. And I just want to encourage and challenge you whichever way you can. Like I believe it was one of the speakers that said, call your legislator, call your senator, even write to the White House if you want to, send a letter, do whatever it is that we can, and let us bring the forces that be to bear on that nation. Because believe me, you will be amazed that left to Nigerian government alone, we will not do anything. Left to the Nigerian government alone, we will not do anything. We are quite comfortable with the way things are right now. I joke that if I go outside of this country today, and I'm a Nigerian American today by the grace of God, I joke that if I go to the Middle East today and they arrest me, I'm not going to tell them that I'm an American citizen. I'm going to tell them I'm a Nigerian citizen. And my reason for saying that is that they probably will think, you know, we don't have need for you because we know your country is not even going to care that we've captured you. And that's the unfortunate aspect of being a Nigerian. The government does not care about its citizens. The government is less interested in what's going on, what the issues and the challenges that the citizens are going through. But today we are all out of the system. We have a different way of looking at things, and we can stand up against stuff like this. And I want to encourage you to please keep standing up, keep making the call, keep doing everything that is within your power to make sure that we do not let go of this opportunity that God has given to us, because we have almost everybody all over the world saying the same thing: bring back our girls. And I know that if we do not let up, by the grace of God, God definitely will bring them back. I know they are safe, they are somewhere. We just need somebody who knows what they are doing to help us to locate them and bring them back. And they will be back in Jesus' name.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Tony. All right. All right, at this time, we have an imam in the house that would like to make a comment. So we'll give him an opportunity to do so. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Peace unto you. We are here today to stand together with our Nigerian family to speak out to the world that indeed this action on the part of Boko Haram is wrong. Right. It is wrong from the perspective of Islam. And by the way, I'm from Africa, and I guess everywhere else in the world, we have to stop looking at women as, you forgive me, my young sisters and our elders here, as sex object. Yes. We have to stop that. Islam teaches us that women are partners. They are partners. They are not maids. And you have to also know the power that God has given you, our mothers. Because most of the time you are asking us to give you. You should take it. You have it. God give it to you. It's a God-given right. And so, Boko Haram itself is haram. Yes. One of the haram meaning forbidden. Because all their actions, the Western education they are talking about, their actions more repugnant to the teaching of Islam than acquiring knowledge, whether it is Chinese, whether it is Western education, and so on and so forth. And so we stay here in solidarity with all of you and with all of our sisters and brothers in Nigeria, our kids. Some of us, to go to sleep, it has been very, very difficult for us to think about over 270 kids. And someone is saying in the name of religion. In the name of religion, religion brings about what? Freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, freedom of choice, freedom of education. That's what the religion is all about. But if the religion we serve other than that to suppress others, that's not the religion to follow. And so Islam, as an imam, I have announced in most of the masajid. And so on behalf of the rest of the Muslims in Minnesota, almost 200,000 Muslims, we stand in solidarity with this group. And I can show you, we send letters, we call on congressmen, we call on our leaders here. Let us start right here in Minnesota, in this house, to talk to our speakers, to our leaders here, and so that they'll be able to follow our voice to the bigger place, which is Washington, D.C. And so I want to say, do not be discouraged. Don't look at the thousands of people that didn't come up, but look at the quality of speakers that have shown up there and your time that you have devoted to this process. And so there is nothing that can pay for it except that when humanity is under threat, we are all under threat. And my goodness, yes. Today, it will be somewhere else tomorrow. And so because if we stand together and speak now against this, it might not focus somewhere else, but it will become because I'm not related to the lady, to the children that are being abducted by the Boko Haram. What if it's a nephew tomorrow? How will you come to us to stand up? We can't do that. And so we'd like to, on behalf of our community, to thank the organizers. You have no idea as to what you have done in order to get this group together. You have no idea. And I know the impact is going to be greater than you expect. So we ask the Almighty God to continue to strengthen the organizers and to continue to strengthen those of you who came out to support this cause. It's a worthy cause. It is better than going to earn thousands of dollars today. You have earned for yourself a place, not just on earth, but in heaven. And so I want to say, let us continue to speak out. We should not go to sleep. As you leave, go and sit down, write letters to your Congress people, because these, in politics, what matters? Numbers. And so the more letters you send, the more calls you make, the impact will be greater. And so those children, like someone said, we are standing in the rain, but we are in security. We have security, absolute security. We have no threats. They are in the forest, in the rain. They are under threat. They have been violated. What we know that is even happening today. It breaks our hearts. It breaks our hearts. May God be with them. So what do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
When do we want it?
When do we want them?
Now. When do we want it?
May God be with you.
I think the most important thing that has happened is the support of non-Africans, the support of people out of Africa. It is very important that we come together to show that these girls are human. They are not articles. They are not there for the picking. It is very important that the rest of the world show that they recognize the humanity of these girls, and that is what has happened today. And we heard from really good speakers who brought this home all the time. I think it's really important that we had the Imam from the Islam religion talk about the fact that this is not what is mandated by the Quran.
Yeah, I was one of the ones that, with Lola, that actually organized the rally. In terms of what's happening in Nigeria right now, to be honest with you, I think the latest that we've heard is so far is that the Boko Haram did release a video alleging that they have, showing some of the girls that are the Chibok girls. I don't know if that has been substantiated yet, but we do know that the United States, France, China have definitely rendered support and are sending people down there to help the Nigerian government. So we are hoping that, like, with this influx of support, that something more substantial will start to, happen, that we will see more progress.
Reed, and I'm with the Eniton story, and I am here because just because it didn't happen here doesn't mean it can't happen here. And so I want to just support in any way I can to help prevent and actually make the people who may have been involved accountable.
I think with the focus on girls that we have in the United States, all girls around the world are important, and our hearts go out to those families, and we're praying and hoping that the girls get back and are reunited with their families. So.
What do you say about today's rally and the incident in Nigeria?
I think today's rally shows that there's a searing on people's conscience, because I went to boarding school for 6 years, and when you stay with people who were strangers, and after 6 years you now take exams, you now become brothers and sisters. So I think if every one of us can relate the ladies that were abducted as our sisters, it sort of comes closer home. So you feel a relation to them. They are no longer strangers. They are now our sisters. They are now our classmates. They are now our cousins. I think if we can put a human face and get to know their names. I think one of the placards had the names of the ladies written all out. You sort of sense that, wow, this is big. You can put a face to the name that Halima was abducted, and it becomes really, really painful when you sense that. So seeing strangers meet here in the front of Minnesota State Capitol, you get a feeling that people are actually getting the sense that this thing is big. And you can imagine what the mothers are going through.
Yes, even though they said the help has been sent, how hopeful are you?
I think we need to keep putting up pressure on the Nigerian government, putting pressure on Minnesota congressmen, putting pressure on Minnesota senators, putting pressure on our own congressman in Washington, D.C. My congressman is
today organized by two women, Lola and Tokumbo, and some of their groups. So I found out about it through an email, and I joined
because this is a cause that is close to my heart. For one, I produce a TV show on issues surrounding human trafficking. And this case has elements of human trafficking in it because the kids were adopted and the Boko Haram leader vowed to sell them. And that is human trafficking, to be selling, either it's a woman or a man, boy or girl. So, plus, I went to a school just like those girls. I went to a government school. It's called Government College, Ikorodu in Lagos, just like those girls. And I couldn't have imagined being kidnapped from school and taken to a place and then being sold. Plus, I know how it feels to be held captive. I myself have been held captive for 2 years here in Minnesota, so I know what it feels like, the trauma the children will be going through, and you know, the kind of things that will be happening to those girls right now. Apart from the fact that they will not be well nutritioned, you know, they will be suffering all kinds of nightmares and trauma, and what about the parents? No parents want to send their kids to school and then find out that their kids is nowhere to be found. If your child does not only concern Nigeria, it concerns everybody across the world. And thank God for the power of the internet and social media. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have known far away from here that anything was going on. And you know, the way the international world has come together and rallied around us, we are really grateful for that. But at this point, people should not give up. It might be tiring that, oh, we are asking for these girls back, and instead Boko Haram keeps releasing stupid videos. They shouldn't give up, because somebody said winners don't quit, right? And he that laughs last laughs best. So we are going to laugh last, and we are not going to quit until we get those girls.
Can you believe they took all of them, all these kids, just for the wants and the needs? I pray for the souls.
Hi, my name is Jaden. I am with the kids.
Help me out. They took me away from my life, my family. I'm stuck as a slave in the dust of everything I've ever known in my life. I've just found this place I'll go to. Heaven is where I go on my days and nights. Help me get out of this place I live. I can't be here anymore. All these people are just walking on eggshells, wanna burst down the door. I'm just stuck in this house I live. Can't get out of this place. Gotta just get up out of this. And no, I just don't wanna live. I'm just stuck where I live. All these people keep on trafficking of me all around. There's a place that's just slavery. I said, help me. I said, help me. I said, help me breathe just again and again. I can't even live in this place anymore. Gotta give my soul up to my Father God. trafficking of me. I gotta give myself up to my father, I know. Give myself up to my mother, I know. What am I supposed to do? They shut the door and now I'm trafficked all around this world. Can you believe that they took me from home? Can you believe that they took me from my home? Can you believe that this could happen? I don't know. Oh, oh, oh. I'm just a little boy. Nobody loves little me. Just keep on praying to my Father, 'cause I'm gonna go home patiently. I'm not gonna live in this world. You can't get me on this little world. I'm going to heaven, all the boys and girls. I've been trafficked. I've been trafficked. I've been trafficked. Been trafficked my whole life.
We light this candle in honor of victims who have lost their lives as a result of human trafficking, and we hope that their soul rests in perfect peace.
Imprisoned Show. They took me from my home when I was just so young. I don't know who I am. I'm supposed to be your son. All they do is just treat me so bad. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I wanna live my life and live it forever, but they keep on bringing me back to this place. They trafficking me. They trafficking me all around this world. Wanted to talk. No, 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 don't wanna be here no more. They keep on just trafficking of me and just don't wanna walk out the door. Help me get up out of this place. I just don't wanna live in this house no more. Trafficking me around the whole wide world. I feel like I'm a slave in this modern time. It's 2013. I just don't know how this world could be this way anymore. They're just trafficking little boys and girls all around the whole wide world, yeah. Just trying to tell a story to you now about my whole life and how they took me from my home and put me into this place. They sold me for just a couple cents, I know. Help me get home, help me get home. I don't wanna be in this place no more. Help me get home, help me get home. I don't wanna be in this place no more. Can you believe they took all of them?